Hi guys, today we're going to show you how to do a very basic, simple step-by-step makeup look. So this video is for beginners, or if you just want to refresh your memory and get back to the basics. We've got Monique here today, who is a professional makeup artist with how many years experience?
11 years and counting.
11 years and going strong. Here we are today, and Monique is going to guide us through the basic products and the basic techniques in how to apply them and how to choose them when you go shopping. We are going to start with one of Monique's favorite beauty products called the Strobe Cream by MAC. Why do you love this product so much? Because I know it's always in your kit.
I love using it because it's an everyday moisturizer and it adds glow to the skin instantly.
Okay, so do you not have to use a moisturizer if you're going to be using that product?
You don't need to, but it's up to your personal skincare routine. But this will give you enough moisturizer for the foundation application.
So what brush are you using to apply that?
This is just a foundation brush. This is my Sensai brush. But you can do this with your hands. You don't need to do it with a brush. So you see I'm focusing more of the shine on the higher areas of the face.
I also think it's important that if you've got a very oily skin, this Strobe Cream might not be the best product for you. But that doesn't mean that you must skip your moisturizer. That just means that you must go for a more mattifying moisturizer, because if you skip your moisturizer, your foundation is not going to look good. This is probably more for combination or drier skin, the Strobe Cream.
Yeah. This is if you really want glow and shine and you're young and you actually don't have to worry about wrinkles or makeup moving or nothing.
Enjoy. Another important tip is to take whatever product you're applying on your face and to blend it down through the jawline onto the neck so that you don't look like your head and neck are two separate entities. It's not a look.
We don't like the floating heads.
Floating heads.
Now we're going to go in with Face and Body foundation.
Okay.
And this is a water-based foundation. And it's sheer, her natural skin is still going to shine through, but it's just going to give her, add colour and
Evenness. Okay.
I always like to put a little bit of foundation over the lid.
And do you also put some foundation underneath the eye?
Yes, everywhere. Because this is water-based and this is very easy foundation for most 20-year-olds to use.
Okay.
So you can paint this everywhere.
I know this is your favorite foundation that you have been using for years. Why do you love it so much?
I just love it because it's so glowy, it's so shiny, it's really nice foundation, actual colors. So that's my main reason why I like it, is the actual color options. And I can really customize my client's skin tones.
Okay.
They're very easy and they're very blendable. They also come in a 100ml bottle, which is great.
What is the best brush to get for foundation if you're a makeup beginner and you want to get a foundation brush?
I would just go for a flat standard foundation brush that's made from synthetic materials. It's easiest to paint with, it's not complicated.
You don't want to see brush strokes, which you sometimes do. So how do you get away from that?
Not really with the Face and Body, but you can use a beauty blender.
Okay.
And just dab all those little lines out, or you just dab the side of the brush.
Okay.
So I like to add a second layer of Face and Body after I've done my number one layer. My number two layer, I always like to just rest on the skin like this. Let it oxidize a little bit, and then I start blending it out. So now I only have thickness or more coverage on these areas. If you ever have a hairstyle that exposes your ears, it's very important to make sure your color is matching everywhere. So paint your ears, paint your neck, paint your chest if it was open. Make it all match. We are now going to do Catrice concealer in liquid camouflage high coverage concealer.
And this shade is?
Shade in Porcelain, number 10.
Okay.
Which is perfect for her. Look it up for me. So for beginners, the easiest way is to create, I like to call it a Nike tick. And that is your main areas and your chin, tip of the nose, outer corner of the mouth, and the top of the eye, the voorkop.
The voorkop,
The
guys.
voorkop.
So then you've applied it with the little applicator.
Yes.
Now you're stippling it on with what kind of brush?
This is a brush from Bobbi Brown. It's the full coverage touch-up brush,
Okay.
which is exactly what we're doing now.
And you are stippling it on.
I am stippling it on because Face and Body is quite liquid and quite movable. So now the liquid concealer is also quite movable. So I'm dab, making it all one. This is like a mini beauty blender.
Or you're using it in the same way.
Yes. The little outer corners of the nose tends to get a little bit red. Outer corner of the mouth.
What do people need to remember about buying concealer?
When you're buying your concealer, you always want a shade slightly lighter than your foundation.
Okay.
Because you're going to be using these areas where you want to highlight and bring a bit forward the skin. You know, you don't want everything to be one tone.
Now, can you show us on the face quickly, where will those areas be?
Underneath the eyes, and on the chin, in the center of the forehead, and sometimes around the nose.
If there's redness.
If there's redness, you know, we're all different. The under eye is the one area that we all have that we need to focus on. So don't skip that step.
Okay. And what then do you use for spot concealing? Do you use a different color concealer?
Yes. Then you want to match your foundation color exactly. And you also want something that's a bit more creamy, not a liquid, because you want something thicker to cover a spot. So now you're going to use your translucent powder to mattify the areas that are too shiny. We only want shine on the areas that are high on the skin. So your cheekbones, the tip of your nose, all those areas are areas we want to accentuate.
What is the area that you want to mattify?
These are the areas next to the nose. Wherever you tend to have bigger pores, that's an easy way to kind of figure out. We keep on going back to these areas as well. This is the same areas where your concealer is. So you can really layer it and mattify. So now, this is now where I'm focusing most of my product, and then the excess that's on my brush, I'm just buffing in. And this also, previously you mentioned the streaks of the brush. This also helps to remove any brush strokes. This is Prep and Prime from MAC, and it's a transparent loose powder.
Okay.
I also prefer the loose specifically to the compact.
Okay.
Because it's much more see-through and you can control it a lot more where you're actually placing the powder.
And it's not as thick.
It's not as thick.
Okay, so it's more invisible.
So now we are going to bronze, and I love using the medium tan from MAC, which is a Mineralise Skinfinish product.
Okay.
And it's just an easy product to use. It's a beautiful texture, so it blends in with the foundation. It's not talky, so it doesn't separate on your cheeks. It just blends with it actually becomes a part of the foundation.
And I personally prefer to use bronzers that are matte and that don't have glitter particles or sparkle particles in it.
Yes.
Because I think it looks a lot more sophisticated and more natural, like as if you've just got a little bit of a tan, a little bit of color on your skin. So where are you applying the bronzer?
So for bronzer, you want to go, again, slightly look towards Clare. You want to go from the top of the ear towards the mouth, but you don't exceed the outer corner of the eye. So this is the area that you want to focus your bronzer on.
Okay.
That's a nice little guidance.
Perfect.
And if you have a beautiful little angle brush like this, it makes your life even more easy.
What number brush is that?
This is a 168 from MAC.
Great. And then I see you also applying the bronzer along the jawline.
Softly along just the excess, a little bit on the ear, along the hairline, a little bit back to me. This is an important bit to make sure that you have the same color everywhere.
So now that we have done the bronzer and really warmed up her complexion, what is the next step?
This is my favorite little tip. I've been doing this for years. And this is using the exact same bronzer as an eyeshadow.
Oh, fab.
And all you do is you just wash it all over the eyelid.
In a windscreen wiper motion.
Yes, within the crease. And it just, because this is such a beautiful bronzer color, specifically this one, it just warms up the lid and it just looks like this most stunning eyeshadows if you've done so much effort.
But very natural.
But it's great for beginners. That's a very nice beginner tip.
Yay. So do you recommend an eyelid primer? And I can maybe link it in the description, just to make sure that the product stays on all day, or?
The primer at the moment here is the concealer.
Okay.
The leftover concealer from, I would use the concealer. I wouldn't add a primer.
Great.
That's a bit too
complicated.
Okay. This is a great base for you to start your eyeshadow with.
And this will probably stay on quite long because of the combination of the more creamy concealer and the drier shadow. So you're layering the two textures, which makes it kind of stay put all day, right?
Absolutely. And the color is just so, like, look at her eyes, it looks so green.
Now that we have created a bit of warmth on the eyelid, that's kind of going to serve as her little bit of eyeshadow. What are we going to do next?
We are now going to just add some definition.
Yes.
And we are going to make a beautiful liquid liner on her eyes.
Okay, great.
Come close to me. I love this liquid liner. It's called Brushstroke from MAC.
So the trick here is that you want to get that product as closely as possible to the lashes, so that it doesn't look like a separate or a thick line, but it actually just looks like a very definite lash line. That makes your lashes look longer and more pronounced, and it really just opens up your eyes and makes you look wide awake. Because when you're 24, you want to really rub it in people's faces how awake you really are.
With little sleep.
With little sleep.
Open for us.
Nice.
There we go. I'm just going to brush up her brows, Claire, because I actually can't look at her face without brows.
Can't look at her face? That's a bit harsh. Jeez, the poor woman is sitting here.
I love brows that are facing up.
Jeez, that's
Brush
harsh.
them up.
She's much nicer at the beginning of the day, and then towards the end of the day she gets very blunt. Okay, so what that does is that really just creates a very fresh and bushy,
open and happy face.
Fresh and bushy and open and happy face. Which is what we all want. Okay.
Okay.
Now she has had her brows microbladed, this lovely lady. So I will actually link down below in the description box if you live in Cape Town, South Africa. A really fantastic woman to go to. She's pretty much booked up like a year in advance, but it's worth it. It's your brows. Make a booking, get your brows done. You'll never have to worry about filling them in the mornings again, and it just makes your whole face look complete. And Monique can then bear to look at you.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to go in for the mascara now, Claire.
Yes, now what products have you got there?
I have the 38 degree Sensai mascara.
So that's a product that a lot of makeup artists really love.
Yes.
I've actually got it myself, and what I love about it is that it glides on really smoothly and it doesn't really leave clumps. It gives you definition and it also lengthens the lashes. I mean, it's just all around really
the best. And the brush.
A fabulous, fabulous mascara.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to watch this video until the end, and you might stand the chance of winning gorgeous Wet n Wild products, sponsored kindly by them. So leave a comment down below and tell us what was the best part about this video. It might not be Monique, it might be me, it might be Savannah. No, tell us what was the best takeaway for you from this video. If you are a beginner at makeup, let us know what tip has inspired you most to get going and create a whole new look for yourself.
And just by adding a little bit of mascara at the bottom, it just opens up your eyes so much more. So it just looks so much bigger.
I think she's looking really gorgeous.
So now I'm going to add some colour. So we're going to add a bit of blush. This is the Wet n Wild Nudist Society blush.
Fabulous.
And my favourite little tip I'm going to show you guys now. So you're just going to apply the colour on the apple of the cheek.
Do a soft smile.
There we go.
That's where you want to apply it, right?
Ah, look at that nice little sparkle it's got as well. Very pretty. And now I'm going to use this exact same color. Close your eyes to me. Just in the crease. Just to warm it up a little bit more. Make all the colors blend together. There we go. Again. And obviously she's got beautiful green eyes, so this color is just the best.
Because it's contrasting. The warmth is contrasting with the coolness of the green. Monique doesn't like to really explain things. She just accepts that we know these things.
Just look and know.
Now the final step, or knowing Monique, one of the final steps in this beautiful simple makeup look is the lips. What are you doing before you do anything to the lips?
I'm just applying a little bit of 8-hour cream, this is just the best thing for you to restore your lip, and also it just makes it much easier to apply lip liners or lipsticks or anything.
So for the lips, we have now moisturized the lips, and now you are applying this beautiful Bobbi Brown lip liner to the entire lip. So I think you need to realize that if you want your lips to stay on all day, even while you're eating, while you're drinking, while you're kissing, you want to use a lip liner on the entire lip, because that will be mattifying and not as oily and moisturizing as a lipstick, which will tend to wear off very quickly. So once you've applied the lip liner to the entire lip, what are you doing?
Just going to add a drop of this beautiful gloss from Catrice, just in the center of her bottom lip, and just in the center of the top lip.
What is our final step in this makeup for beginners look?
I'm just going to use my favorite Marc Jacobs setting spray, and this is just going to seal the look.
Okay.
Smell the coconut. This is the best setting spray.
I'll link it down in the description box for you guys.
There we go. Still glowy and dewy and moisturized.
Okay, so let's take out the hair for the final reveal. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a new one.